Over there in America, in the West, you're going to turn into a battlefield. That's the stage that you're at now. Our history with the West is going to repeat itself in the West. You're like an old predator who has become prey for his own offspring. Like I said, they're coming to you, your offspring is coming to you, and you think that there's still some familial affection between you. So you're glad to see them. And you think it's going to be like the old days when you used to hunt together. That's the way Trump is selling it to you. Because selling it to you that way is his whole job. But they're coming to hunt you, not to hunt with you. So you need solidarity with the global South. And as I've said before, especially about African Americans, but really it applies to all so-called minority groups in America. And in fact, it applies to every so-called race and so-called ethnicity in America who are struggling economically. You live really, in reality, you live just the same. You struggle just the same as the people of the global South. 22% of Americans are barely covering their basic needs. And 65% of Americans, low-income Americans, they're in a constant state of worry and a constant state of anxiety about being able to pay their bills, their necessary bills. At least 10% of Americans are in persistent poverty. So low-income, struggling, working-class populations living in America, if they were their own country, they would apply for BRICS. They would apply to join BRICS. If your situation was your citizenship, for tens of millions of Americans, you would be living in a developing country if your situation was your citizenship. And I'm telling you, only your situation actually matters. They want your citizenship to make you forget about the situation that you're in, the situation that the country of your citizenship put you in. They want you to forget that you're poor, just by telling you that you live in the richest country on earth. Never mind that the country doesn't have riches. It has some rich people in the country, but increasingly, even those rich people don't identify with the country itself anymore. And Donald Trump is just one of those rich people. I'm telling you, millionaires and billionaires ought to be regarded as foreigners. They ought to be regarded as foreigners in America and everywhere else. But they shouldn't even be allowed to hold office, in my opinion, because they actually belong to a different nation than the rest of the people. They truly do. They belong to the nation of wealth. They're a-national. They have nothing in common with you and I. I mean, how many of those celebrities whose mansions were burned down in Hollywood, how many of those people are in shelters right now? How many of them are even homeless at all? I mean, what would you do if your house burned down, if your home burned down? Do you have a helicopter that will whisk you away to your other home? You understand what I'm saying? These are people who have no stake whatsoever in your and my well-being. They have no stake in the well-being of the economy of the country. They have no stake in that because they've got theirs. They're covered. They've got theirs. It doesn't matter to them one way or the other what happens to America. It truly doesn't. And they're going to sell you out. They're going to sacrifice you. The ship is sinking and they're already on the life rafts on their way to Dubai. Somebody said with the mass deportations Trump is doing, that's going to leave all of these manual labor jobs without workers. Well, who do you think is going to do that work now? Who do you think is going to have to do all of those jobs that migrant workers have been doing for next to nothing? It's you. It's you. That's the new gig economy. Picking fruit, washing dishes, cleaning hotel rooms, day labor, landscaping. Oh, did you think that they were telling you that you don't need college or that college is pointless because of neo-Marxist postmodernism and critical race theory? Is that what you thought? Turns out it was because they didn't want you to be overqualified to pick oranges. They didn't want you to think that you were too good to work at a warehouse. They didn't want you to assume that you could make a livable income on just one job instead of 2 or 3. See, the people on the upper decks of the ship, they know that the ship is sinking long before the people in the steerage. And they have first access to those lifeboats. So the elites have known for quite some time that America is going under. And they've already made their plans. They've already made their arrangements. And they made very different arrangements for you. You've been slotted to go down with the ship. That's in America and it's in Europe as well. And some of you have actually allowed yourselves to believe, when you see the people rowing away in the life rafts, you believe when they tell you that you'll be safer. You'll be safe from the flood. You'll be safe from drowning if you stay in the belly of that ship. I told you, you'll have to always read them backwards. Always play them in reverse. You have to play them in reverse, and then you'll know what they're really saying. Here, we'll practice. Make America great again.